which car we're on board with then.
It's the Porsche 20.
The 20.
So the fourth place car.
Yeah, the one that's just come out of the pit. So
yeah, so it's still saying Weber's Weber's on board, but we know that Timo Bernhard's just got on board.
So topping 300 there and upwards. Don't think I'll ever quite get used to that noise. As the 91 Porsche is in now. Where was that line? The 91 Porsche must have had a problem while we've been out of the box, because that was in that fight, wasn't it? In the front end when it was it was leading the fight when it was raining. So
yeah, they've fallen way down to 40th position now with Patrick Pilet at the wheel. It's another look into the Audi box. Tom's waiting to get in the car.
Looking pretty cool and calm.
So Mika's still leading in GTE-Pro, Bruni in second, Milner in third in the Corvette. So
yeah, 8.9. This is Mark Genet. This is the car that's going to get handed over to Tom Christensen. And what kind of times is Genet doing? A 3:30.9. You remember this guy started the week in another car and was only drafted in on. Coming in this time.
Yeah, I mean it's not easy just jumping in, and these cars aren't easy to drive. Okay, he's got previous form and experience, and a lot of experience to draw on. But it's the final kind of few times that he might be lacking just from time driving the car. Whereas someone like Fassler, well, if you just look at the last lap time, Fassler did a 3:27, he did a 3:30. But I know Genet has also been doing some half-decent times in that car as well. So I think he's stepped up to the challenge, and he's a very deserving driver. He's served his time, and he's very fast.
Look at that, he's got his radio plugged in until the last possible moment. That's it, disconnects it. Right, next time I plug that in, that's going in the car. Oh. Drivers there, tyres are there.
Now, you sure you don't need a last wee before you get in the car, Tom? It's going to be in there.
A bit like us when we were coming here. So, yeah.
Yeah, I do that as well. I always check my hands just before I get in the car, just the final checks. Right, is everything, am I done up correctly?
Well, we're about to enter pit road with the Audi #1. Third place overall at the moment. 145 laps they've done. As the 35 car, that's the end of the stint for Mardenborough. He's done four stints, wasn't it, in that car, and the Audi #1 follows him in. The 35 car leading that category very, very nicely. Here comes Genet. Oh, he wasn't quite sure where he had to just drive around someone else to get into his box. He's in, fuel in, driver out, drinks bottles in. Mark just struggling to get out there.
Yeah, so we know Tom's going to get in the car. We know Alex Brundle will get in the car 35. That will be his first stint, so we're well into the race by now.
No, Alex did earlier on. And when we
You're
were
right,
before, yeah.
he started.
But his first stint in the dark, though.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah. First in the dark.
Now this will be the first. Tom started the race, so this is his first time back in the car since the start of the race, which is quite a while ago.
Yeah, so they're basically on exactly the same strategy as the lead car in P2. With Alex Brundle, who did a fantastic job at the start as well, had a good old fight, and got the lead and started pulling away. So yeah, there's still some great battles going on out there. We've lost a few cars now, but the main cars, the main protagonists are still up there fighting. Wert's in the lead, Fassler second, Christensen third.
I think the most spread out battle is one actually for the overall victory. The rest of them are, as you say, very, very close. I mean, what was that one, the Pro-Am? That's 9 seconds. Not the Pro-Am, the Pro GT. 9 seconds between those two, between the Aston and the Ferrari. So it's yeah, he's looking relatively happy with himself. A bit bleary-eyed, I think. But called in to replace Duval after that crash that he had. And yeah, done a lot of testing in the car, but race-wise, it's a new thing. Tom up to speed now, on board, down the brakes, into the chicane. Whatever he's following is pretty quick as well, because he's not really catching it. Oh, he's been done as well going into the chicane by Toyota. I suspect that's Wertz. Could be wrong, but...
Could be Lapierre. I think... yeah, let's wait and see.
The Pedro Lamy car into the pit lane there. Just saw those brake lights there, which is a reflection in our commentary box. I was thinking, why is there a car there? But fortunately, there is one of the safety cars just parked up near us. Yeah, Lamy now into the pits. Lamy leading the Am category in GT, so he will obviously sacrifice that potentially. Let me just check the time. Yeah, no, he might get away with it. What's the... that's not meant to be doing that.
No, that's not such a good sign right now.
Smoke coming from the bonnet.
Unless they've just... Nope.
Oh, it's going into the garage. I mean, normally when you got smoke like that, that's overheating, but...
Oh yeah, when the car stops, it's obviously very hot and suddenly there's a lot of heat soak. But it could, I think it is looking at something a bit more serious.
Yeah. It's, that's not good for the 98 car. The one advantage they do have a lap. Looking at the results at the moment, they've got a lap over Poulsen. So, I mean, it's not going to take them that... Not saying that's going to not stay in that position, but they've got a bit of help. A little bit of a fire extinguisher going into the engine bay here.
No, I think that's that might take more than a lap to get fixed.
Yeah. Not sure whether that's engine overheating or whether that's a small electrical fire, because it did look like smoke rather than steam, I think, but...
Yeah, of course, Pedro's only done one stint in the car, if that was even a complete stint.
There's some fluid just being put onto the scuttle panel as, in a jug, as if it's got some fluid's got to go in somewhere. So something has leaked out. So it's now it is
confirmation that Christian Poulsen has moved ahead of Lamy into the lead of GTE-Am.
If there is a silver lining, it's still an Aston Martin.
At the Chinese car, 33 car. Well, it's Oak Racing, Team Asia.
9th.
All Chinese lineup of drivers.
If I've added that up right, it's 9th in the P2 category.
That was a car that was stuck in the gravel earlier in the race with Adderley Fong.
And they're on their way out. That's
seems to be going well enough now, though.
His
tongue at the wheel.
Fassler on his way. Okay, box this lap, a full service. Now that's not going to be like at your Audi dealership where it's in for 7 or 8 hours having a full service. What are these Audi boys and girls going to do in a full service?
They're going to change the tyres, they're going to give it fuel. I think, I don't know whether they're going to do a driver change. Normally, if a full service, they'd probably do a driver change as well. I'm not sure how long he's been in the car.
I'm not so sure. I mean,
well, we know that Lotterer was waiting in the wings, and we know hasn't driven since the first stint, so it's quite likely they're going to change driver to Lotterer.
The 7 car just in a little bit of traffic as it exits the final chicane and starts another lap. He'll deal with them on the pit straight and up through towards the Dunlop curves, and he'll clear that.
Yeah, Fassler's certainly posting some competitive times. Down doing 3:27s. Bert's 3:28 last lap, so certainly in the fight. They're just you know, a little bit. They've lost a bit of time compared to the Toyota since we were last in the commentary box.
Yeah, but what we've got to remember as well is just after we left. Well, now
there's Lotterer. He's ready. So yep, full service does mean driver change, tyres, and fuel going in the car. Obviously the tidy up the windscreen, get it all clean and tidy, and then send it.
Yeah, that just after we left the box last time, there was a safety car for a car in the wall. So maybe again, maybe that number 2 Audi ended up being in another batch out of the Toyota one. So that could be where that 40 seconds went again. So
yeah, I'm sure there's people at home saying, yes, of course that's what happened. Yes. Why don't you know that?
Yeah. So
that's the thing about having the safety cars here. You do get if you get caught out with them and you're unlucky, then you end up losing a lot of time because they don't they don't give it back to you. If you get stuck in the pits, you get stuck in the pits. You can't get out. It's red light.
He's on his way down now on the brakes into the pit road. Not going to catch the car that's on the pit road in front of him, which is fortunate for him. Heavy on the brakes. Lights off.
Just got it down to 59k as he went over the line there. Perfectly timed. I think so far so good. It's gone pretty well to plan for car 2, apart from these obvious issues maybe with safety car and the weather, but they've all driven pretty well. There's been no major dramas, knock on wood, and Lotterer's back in the car. He's a very hard charging driver, and I think he's going to go out there and give his all to try and close that gap to Verts.
He was ace in his stint earlier on. I mean, he showed some real big speed in that car and some brave overtaking maneuvers as well.
Yeah, I mean, don't forget this crew has won 2 Le Mans already. So they'll be very keen on making it one more.
I think at the moment, they have got a fierce rival in Alexander Verts, and I think they need a little bit of help from outside sources, I think, to try and get this one back at the moment. Okay, he's back on track. Driver change for the car 2, full service, tyres, cleaning the window, fuel, driver change. As our leader enters the pit lane as well, Alexander Verts. And that will just be a fuel stop because he's only been in for 1 stint at the moment. He was going to have to use a bit of extra track to go around the outside of that Porsche.
I think he'd have cut back on the inside. He was going to go over the curb on the exit, but I think he was going to cut back again. So yeah, we've got Wirtz in the pits now. Just half service. Fuel, off he goes. You hear that? So the car starts off in its electric mode, leaves the pit, its pit in electric mode, then the engine fires up.
60 kilometers an hour until they go past the cones, off the button and away. And Toyota are going to be busy because the number 8 cars just coming into the pits as well. So Wirtz and Lotter on out laps, and unseen by me, the 14 Porsche as well has been in and is on its way out on an out lap.
So Lapierre now has closed the gap on timing screens. He's back there at the top with the others of the LMP1s, and therefore it doesn't look so bad for him anymore. Before, when he was on the second page and gradually fighting his way up, but he's back there at the top, so it's much easier to watch his lap times now.
Yeah, his next target is Nick Heidfeld in that Rebellion, the car 12, and looking at that, he's a lap down on that car, which on performance and pace he'll get it. It might take him a little while, but he should get that. Right, now just something I noticed that we noticed when we were in the truck watching these pictures. The 35 car now, which has got Brundle back in it, all the dashboards lit up. And we believe that dashboard wasn't lit up when we were last inside this car.
That's right, and I'm sure they were probably talking about it in the commentary. We were discussing how Mardenborough had.
He had nothing. He couldn't see anything on the steering wheel, any of the shift lights, the gear indicator. Straight away, I've noticed that now because it's there. Well,
I think no doubt during one of the stops there was a reset pressed and everything came back again, because definitely there was no lights, there was nothing in the car itself. It was just dark, so. That's not very easy to drive when you're kind of relying on your rev lights, etc. Okay, after a while you get in sync with the engine and you just do it automatically, but it's always nice to have the backup of the rev light, just to know that you're not pushing the engine too hard or losing speed by changing gear too early. See the gears going down right in the middle of the screen there, in the middle of the steering wheel, second gear, through the chicane up to third.
I mean, there's a lot of detail, and I mean, from this picture you can't see what all the other stuff is lit up around it, but that's going to be toggles and switches for different maps and things like that.
There's various pieces of information, oil temperature, pressure, lap time will be in there. Just various numbers that many you don't really pay too much attention to. You look at your lap time, obviously, and the next thing you see, if there is an issue, you see an alarm, and then you go and look at it, and there'll be the fuel consumption in there as well. The team will ask at some stage how your fuel consumption's going.
Now, I was just about to say, the 51 car, second in the Pro GT category, is in the pits. This is a driver change as well. They had just started to drop a bit of time. They dropped down to 18 seconds behind the Aston Martin, but he's... let's see what the Finn can do.
Yep, Vilander into the car now.
It's interesting here, when we've been watching the P1s, they have a man helping them, or a girl helping them get into the car. The driver is actually helping the other driver here put the intercom in and radio and everything like that, so...
Every team has its own style, and it is allowed. They could also have a driver helper, but for whatever reason they say no, it's good enough that the other driver helps you, so we'll just get on with it that way. So Vilander now out of the pits. So Muka must be due for a stop pretty soon.
I was going to say, well, it's now that put the Chevy into second, with Miller in second place, just under 38 seconds away.
Lapping quickly as well. He's down doing 3:56s.
Yeah, that is good.
And Muka last time round 3:59. So yeah, the pace is still there with that Corvette.
Dude, I have to say, the GT cars, all the race cars look lovely, but the GT cars are really, really nice. I like the Chevy, I like the Porsche, I like the Aston Martin, the Ferrari. If I had the money to buy one, I'm not sure which one I'd buy. I always said I'd buy a Ferrari, but I don't know whether I would, having seen those Aston Martins today closer. They're very, very nice.
So we see Bruno getting ready to go back in again. So it kind of does look like, well, certainly Luca's going to stop soon. I'm not sure.
Car 46, a 35 stop-and-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So car 46 is on my spotter chart.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier on, didn't we?
That's it. Well, they've only just given it out. That was about 10 minutes ago, wasn't it?
It was, and remember we remarked on, I wonder how bad it'll be, so it's a 35-second rather than a 3-minute stop and go. That's not, you know, it's not the end of the world. So as we see Bruno just getting ready there, so Muka will be in within the next couple of laps, I would have thought. Change over to Bruno. Bruno will go out and do a double or a triple stint. I think, you know, considering Bruno, he's been out of the car, the regular drivers, Stefan Muka and Darren Turner, obviously do a lot of miles in the car. I think Bruno's shown himself to be very competent this weekend, getting back in the car. He's been setting some fantastic lap times, and he's got straight back on it. And it's impressive to see that, you know, quite a few months out of the car, and okay, it is the same car as last year, but he's suddenly straight back on it, doing the job. You know, it's what you would expect of him anyway, but it's always nice to see.
It's a two-race program, I think he has for this season with the team. This is one. I'm not sure what the other one is.
Well, he'd have done Spa, which was the last round of the WEC, just to get ready for this race. That's what we did last year. It was the third drivers program. Everyone did Spa, and then to get ready for Le Mans.
Okay, so let's just see what that gap is. We're waiting for the Milner just saying his quickest first sector time for 37.3. Bruno just some stretches and some bumping around and jumping around to get himself ready. Yeah. So you get 37.851, so nearly 38 seconds is the gap. Now, these guys, I believe, are going to be obviously on a slightly different strategy. Car 91, now that's had those problems earlier on. That's back in again.
So I think in GTE-Pro you're going to see Milner
go back
retake the lead.
Yeah, but then we've got to work out.
But he's at least halfway through his stint by now, so therefore he'll pit and then lose the lead again. So yeah, it's ebb and flow, isn't it? You know, it depends where they are come the end of the race. And the 91 car going in,
well, it dropped and dropped and dropped. I mean,
we know they've got problems already. So more problems for the 91 car. 92 car of Marco Holzer still running well up in 4th place in GT-Pro.
Now we need to remember Pedro Lamy was sat in the pits. So Lamy, I haven't seen him back out, and we haven't actually had a shot of inside that garage, which is just next door to this. So Mr. Cameraman, can you just go across to look at the Lamy garage? That would be great. Yeah, he's dropping and dropping and dropping. He's
still sitting in the box, I think.
Yeah, he's in the pits. P next to his name, so that's a lot worse than what we were all thinking immediately when he pulled up. So we wait. Alex Brundle is, remember, leading the P2 category. Verts leading P1 and the race outright.
So interestingly, with the Porsche, they're not at the back of the car where the engine is, they're at the front, so it doesn't look like it's an engine problem as such. It's something else, possibly electrical.
You say that? It looked like a glue gun or something going.
Is that the fuel tank there?
sure what is going on there.
What we need is a pit lane reporter to go down there and check it for us.
Yeah. Can someone go down there, please? Okay, number 46 just coming past us into the pits.
That's second place in P2. It's just dropping down.
Say, not anymore. They were obviously very close, weren't they? 36 and 46.
They're going to drop right down now because they got a 35-second stop-and-go penalty. So, yep, that speeding in the pits, the last pit stop, they've been caught for. Obviously, the officials have discussed it and said, right, I think they're due a 35-second stop-and-go.
And you don't gain 35 seconds, do you, by being 1 or 2 kilometers an hour over that speed limit? So it's
exactly.
It's quite a minor offence for a very hard. It's a harsh penalty for a minor offence, but that's the rules, isn't it? And you've got to kind of stick to it.
Same for everyone, yeah. And so you know, it's important as a driver. You've seen how big that white line is on the way into the pits, that you hit that limit and you get it down to 60 kilometers an hour, and the same on the exit.
So the mechanic stood at the front of the car with a stopwatch counting him down. So, okay, here's the 74 car. Interesting. The 74 car is into the pits
already. So
yeah. So that lead for the Aston, because that Aston's going to come in soon, because we've seen Bruno Senna waiting. So very similar strategy then.
Yep. So Villander was in first, then Milner, and then Muka is due within the next lap, maybe this lap. So
yeah. Villander's he's probably done 2 laps since he came out, hasn't he? 2 or 3 laps since he came out.
So Muka, the Aston, it really is in the outright lead of the race, even on count back to different pit stops. So they're showing their hand to be quite good just now. The pace is very good in the car. Let's hope Bruno can keep it up and keep the car going for them. So just fuel for Milner in the 74 Corvette. Straight back out again. Certainly we'd be looking to triple stint these tyres in the night. I think that's the plan for everyone.
Okay, last time past the pits, the 97 Aston had a 1-minute 35.5 second advantage over the Ferrari of Villander. He should get in and out in that time with the driver change and everything. He's not going to have a lot of gap. By the time he slows down and stops and does everything, speeds back up.
It's going to be tight.
It's going to be tight. Yeah. Team radio, Toyota 7. Okay, a bit of traffic. He rings, he lost 10 seconds.
Well, if he lost 10 seconds, then he would have done the fastest lap by a second.
Yeah.
Which is possible.
Yeah.
It's very possible.
He's got 10 seconds to spare, though, hasn't he?
Have we actually got to the end of that conversation? I'm not sure Alex was wanted to do that extra stint or not. You could tell the engineer was quite keen for him to carry on.
Yeah.
So.
Is that him staying in the car or just changing the tyres? Because, I mean, this is only, I think, his second stint, so... Because we saw him when we came back in, he was sat ready to go in. So, is that because temperatures are dropping, they want to go onto the softer tyre?
I would have thought they're already on the soft tyre by now. I think the track temperature should be definitely within the range of the soft tire. It's just, yeah, I would think he should be able to do triple stint on them.
There definitely wasn't any commitment from Alex, was there, about kind of, yep, let's do that. He was, what is the wear rate? And engineer was telling him that Nakajima's tyres were fine, so...
So Muka in now, Senna into the car. So this is the test. These guys have got to work quickly and get him back out in front of Vilander. To be honest, I'm not sure how much time it takes to get in and out and do a full service. So
I said it was 1:35, didn't I? So I didn't even see them come past us because we were listening to and watching that screen with the Toyota there.
It should be possible because they were in front. Muka's been driving some fast lap times. Vilander has not, you know, he's not long out of the pits himself.
Okay, the left-hand side's finished with. Right-hand side tyres going on.
So, no, I do think he's going to leave the pits in the lead.
Well, there's the 51 car.
Quick stall, though. Oh, a little bit of a wheel spin. He should get away with that one. That's not too bad.
Okay, I'm looking out the window now because there's the... That's 61, not 51.
No, I think he's clear. I think it should be no problem.
It'll take a sector or two to sort it out. Sparks from the car bottom.
I think what we were seeing was because Vilander was not long through the pits himself. It hadn't taken into account, so it's looking like he's Bruno is
1.7.
only 1.6 seconds ahead.
1.7.84 if we're going to be really accurate with the timing.
That's exactly what I was going to say there. Yeah.
Okay, right. And look, the first three only 3.66 apart.
So we're on board now with Vilander,
and
those brake lights ahead are Bruno's.
And if we could spin that camera around, the headlights behind this car would be of the Chevy behind us, wouldn't it? Yeah, Milner. But if Vilander's going to do anything, he's got to be this lap because Bruno's got to get up to speed, hasn't he? And
yeah.
I'm waiting for the... we actually look at it. The first four only 46.6 apart. 97, 51, 74, 92. Our top four in the Pro GT category. That's some big revs coming down the gears.
Yeah, Vilander's got him in his sights. He's pushing hard, and as you said, it's you know, it takes time to get the temperature of the tires up for Bruno and to get him back in the rhythm again. You know, he's keeping the gap. Who's that coming by? Is that a P2 car? Yeah, I guess it's a P2 car going at that speed.
He'll see this potentially as an opportunity as well, won't he? Because he'll try and... Bruno might lose a little bit of time or something being overtaken. He's going to...
Yeah, I think it's that he won't lose any time there. He'll be flat on the power. The P2 car safely by.
Okay, the split sector times are up there. Sector 2, 91.4, 91.0, so Vilander
slightly quicker for Vilander.
0.4. Yeah. Okay, car 12, stop and go penalty for unsafe release. That's the rebellion, isn't it, of Heidfeld?
That wasn't caught on camera, was it? So we haven't seen that.
Yeah. I don't know who his unsafe release was in front of, but car 12 has a stop and go.
Yeah, it's looking, you know, Vilander's not really dragging him in at all. So Bruno is only going to get stronger. His tires are still coming up to temperature. He's finding the pace himself.
3 or 4 laps newer as well, aren't they? So I think Bruno, he's now into the groove, and he's
Yeah, slight left through there. Very fast corner. Coming around this next one, left-hander karting it's called, and it's off camber, so you drift out wide over the exit rumbles.
They're heading down towards us now.
So we get a look in firsthand how close they are.
There they are. There's not a lot of gap between. That's the three of them there.
Well, yeah, actually.
97, 51, 74. It looks a lot closer in
real life.
In real life,
it does from the camera.
Yeah.
Objects may seem closer in the mirror.
Yeah. I mean, that, to be fair, I mean, what is the gap as they go across there? It's down to 0.758. And then Milner and 2.222.
So 10 hours into the race, and the top three cars are split by 2 seconds. That's crazy.
That's pretty good, isn't it? That is pretty good. We're concentrating on this battle, but just remember, at the very front of the field, it is Alexander Wirtz who is out front. He's leading by 2 minutes 11, nearer 2 minutes 12. But we concentrate back on this battle.
I would like to stay on this battle for a while. This is interesting to see how this is going to play out. As I say, it's always easier to be the chaser, and you know, wherever Bruno breaks, Wheelander just showing his lights, just saying, I'm here. Don't break too late now, eh? See, he's closed in on him on the brakes, trying to get into the toe. Aston's on the power slightly earlier. Just pulls out again, concertina effect.
What's amazing me is how hard and how aggressive the revving is on the downshift.
Yeah, of course, these cars are all running paddle shift now. Well, every car on the grid now is running a paddle shift system. So you can't over-rev the engine. It's impossible. It won't let it do it. So the old days of using engine braking and revving the engine real high, you know, you can't do it anymore.
Car 70, one of the Ferraris, has had a little trip through the gravel at Marshall point 76, which is at the end of the Mulsanne. He's been straight on there.
You're right, though. It does sound brutal going on down on the brakes through the gears for the Ferrari.
Lost 0.2 in that sector. It's now a massive 0.791.
So, yeah, as you say, Milner pulled 0.2 on Wheelander that time, so he's actually closing up on him as well. It's a shame we've not got a Porsche up there to join the party.
It's not so far away. It's 49 seconds away, but it's now down to 1.4. Let's say it's 1.4 between the top three. Tell you what, we can stay with this for as long as they want while this is still going on for me. They're heading down towards us again.
Yeah, that corner that we just came through, that's the one that's bitten, what, 3 drivers this weekend?
Yeah. Ferrari does run wide across those rumble strips. Okay, here they come. Here they all are, the yellow headlights, all 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. As quick as that. As you say, after 10 hours.
Well, this is exactly how it was last year with us. You know, just leader changes through the different pit stops. It's almost role reversal, but with the Porsche this time not in the shout for the victory. It doesn't look yet anyway.
No,
as we say, still a long way to go. It's still there sitting in 4th place, not so far behind, but at the moment advantage to Aston. Ferrari certainly a lot stronger this year than last year, and the Corvette way stronger this year than last year as well. So it's nice that things have been balanced out, and we've got a good race with 4 different manufacturers up there.
That Chevy is right up behind that Ferrari. I mean, it's less than a second between these 3 going across the line. That quicker car is past and away. But I got a feeling in the braking zone somewhere we could have a Chevy coming down the inside.
You could see another set of lights coming up the side of it in a minute. He's blocking. Look, he's blocking. He's saying, "Oh, you're not passing down here." Was that a yellow flag?
Not sure, but they are catching somebody. What are they catching there? They're catching the other Chevy. This.
Is it? No, that could be a Ferrari.
No, I thought it was just maybe the yellow headlights. Oh, here we go.
Oh, there we go, yeah. This is Vilander saying, "I'm here, mate. I'm coming through." And Bruno's saying, "No, you're not. You just sit there." So late, that would be brave.
Yeah, that is
brave.
very
brave if he pulls that off.
Get ready for a Chevy onslaught as we come out of here.
Exactly.
He's gonna be right up behind him.
Yeah, the Aston guys, they're loving the fight. Mission control, Aston mission control. So, yeah, now Vilander's blocking all the way down the inside. He's making, there he goes. Yeah. So because he attacked, and he attacked in a bit of a strange place, he's left himself wide open to the Corvette. So the Corvette's just slotted in. Thanks very much. And now the Corvette's going to have a go at the Aston.
Now, these 3 being at it, I can't remember 100% what the gap was, but I thought the first 4 cars were 46 seconds apart only about 2 or 3 laps ago. They've now eked out a huge gap by being on the ragged edge and just racing each other like mad.
Yeah, Milner has just put in a 3:56, so yeah, that last lap he was almost a second quicker than the other 2, which is why now he's up into 2nd place. It's very impressive from him. You know, he's I don't think he's been coming that many years to Le Mans, and he's got some really experienced teammates in the car with him, and at the moment he seems to be the one setting the pace. Of course, the track is getting quicker, so we will see the next couple of stints being
still
getting
got to drive it, haven't you?
And he's got the bit between his teeth. He's chasing down the Aston. He's really up for it. The Ferrari's fallen back a bit.
I'm going to say,
Porsche going around the outside.
Maybe needs to kind of regroup, doesn't he? Really?
Maybe the Ferrari can gain something back now as they get as the GTs were possibly held up. See that Corvette might have gotten slightly held up there, but then again there's another prototype coming by. Yeah, I'm not sure. Let's see them now. He has dropped back the 51 car, and yeah, the prototypes have kind of ruined the battle a little bit.
They might need to lap or so to get that. In the next lap or so they can start. The Ferrari does seem to be dropping off the back.
The big thing on Ferrari favour is that there's very kind on its tyres, and the other cars maybe not so kind. So there is a possibility of Ferrari doing an extra stint on the tyre compared to the other 2. If Michelin allow, that's the other thing. They're all Michelin runners, and Michelin call the shots on whether you can do how many stints you can do on a set of tyres.
The 20-car Timo Bernhard car just into the pits. We're concentrating on this battle, which we're very happy with. 51 Ferrari needs to kind of regroup a little bit. He's just starting to drop away from the back. I'm sure he'll be able to sort himself out, though.
So we've still got Christian Poulsen, running in Pro-Am Aston, leading the pack. He's in the pits at the moment.
Okay, 4th overall carring, window clean, fuel in, and he's away already.
That's Timo just starting his 2nd stint now in that car.
While we've gone back to the P1 cars, just looking at the times there, and Christensen are really in the groove, a 3:27.645, and Wirtz, surprised we haven't heard him on the radio again, 3:30.99922. So Wirtz maybe just having a bit of traffic on the last lap, and it's Lotterer in 2nd as he gets himself back into gear. Right, I want to go back to that battle because it's a huge 2.797 between the three of them, and it's just over a second between Senna and Milner. So can we go back to that battle, please, hopefully? Let's just have a quick look. Brundle still does lead. He's on an outlap, is Brundle, in the P2s. It's 52.7 seconds, so that's, at the moment, pretty safe. Now, I got a feeling that Pedro Lamy is still parked in the pits as well, which is disappointing. But it is an Aston still leading the Am category as well. Yeah, Lamy, oh my word, Lamy. Oh, he's on an outlap. Lamy is on an outlap. He's come out of the pits. So, need to kind of keep an eye on, make sure Lamy doesn't come back in, 98, and that's another one to look for. I think that's our lead battle just gone past us as well. And the Ferrari looked right up again behind the Corvette. So I think that battle's just about to start and get fiery again. So it'd be nice to...
I just noticed that Pat Long's back in the 77 car, so he will be no doubt knocking in. He's just come out of the pits, I think, so he'll be knocking in some fast lap times, getting them back up the order. I think they're running in 6th place in the GTE-Am class. Great stints this, earlier on from him, wasn't there? Yeah, he led. I think he led overall, all the GTs. Yeah. So a big achievement, but obviously you know, being in Pro-Am, you've got the pro driver and you've got two relatively amateur drivers anyway, with Patrick Dempsey and who's his other teammate? Just trying to find out if we've got any news. Yeah, Joe Foster is the other one in the Dempsey car. Okay, someone I know, Luis Perez Companc, is now into the Ferrari 61. And no, Lewis from other sports that we cover. I'm just trying to see if there's any news from Aston. I don't know whether you've had a text or anything about the Pedro Lamy car. I'm just whizzing through texts, tweets and everything, but can't see anything yet to tell us why he's back. He's back on the road, but I'm just trying to work out or find out why. Right, I'm going to go back to this battle. Right, this battle in the Pro GT category as car 52 comes into the pits. Senna still leads, it's Milner is second, it's 2.2 seconds now. And then in third, we're back. Oh, this is now with the 73 car. It's a 74 car we'd like to be on with, but Garcia is our 5th place car in the Pro category. I've got a feeling he's about to kind of keeping an eye on that battle. So as I said, Senna 1.7 now, it is nearly 1.8, and then Villander is 4.4, near enough behind. Brundle still leads his category, and Poulsen leads the Am GT category. Car 7 just going past us. 1 Porsche
to deal with and get out of the way. Hardy, spectator, seems to be the only spectator in that grandstand. I think everyone else is walking around on the bottom. The 52 car now, that 52 car, I'm sure is the one of the cars that's been having all sorts of problems. It was the one that was, we think,
the Ram,
had a fire, had a slight fire earlier on.
So he obviously got back to the pits. I think they must be a fair way down.
Yeah.
But they're still running, so you know, that in itself is an achievement.
So, dear me, the 91 car still in the pits. 27 minutes, 28 minutes now in the pits for them. And as you interestingly pointed out, they're working in the front, so they're not working on the engine of that car. So, still no news at the moment. The number 1 car in, Tom Christensen in, that was a fuel stop. Tom setting some great sector times. 3:26 was Lotra. Now,
yeah, I think as
the Audis they seem to be starting to come in. That's 2 or 3 laps in a row now where they've been 3 seconds up on the Toyota. Now they've got plenty of space and time for the Toyota, but they've been quick all day.
Lotter is pumped. He's going for it. And we know he's got the pace in him. You know, he's certainly one of the fastest drivers out there, maybe the fastest.
What's that? These?
So yeah, Lotter circulating that last time anyway, 3 seconds faster than Wirtz. Be nice to see if he can close the gap a bit, and currently reading 1 lap down, but it is. Yeah, is that a full lap? Probably not. No, it's like a 2-minute gap or something, isn't it?
I don't think it's I don't think it's a full lap yet, but 2 minutes. So. Okay, no, still no news on the Lamy car, but it is back on the road, which is the most important thing. Okay, that battle now, wow, Senna to Milner, 0.696.
Yeah, so they're just finished the first sector now.
Just do is seeing that battle again. That was a fascinating 10 or so minutes we had with them before. It'd be nice just to go back, because the Ferrari isn't so far away. 4 seconds. It's coming down again, the gap. It's coming down again. 0.7 of a second now.
Ferrari mechanics there having a bit of a chat.
Car just going past. Potentially wasn't a 96 car, because I can't seem to find a 96 car on my sheet, but
they asked him if Paulson just went by us.
Was I?
So he's just done a
95 car, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was the leader in Pro-Am, Christian Paulson.
Toyota mechanics getting ready. Christensen's been in it, so this could be the Wirtz. Are we going to run a full stint on these tyres? Pit stop coming up.
It could well be, or it could be Lapierre.
Fans go, oh. They put a little tape around him where he was late. I think with the amount of cameras around, if I was to go to sleep, I think I would make sure that it wasn't in the pits, so that people could film me.
They've got no option. They've got to stay in the pits. So The Chevy guys look pretty relaxed.
They do look quite relaxed. Well, they got a right to be relaxed. They're missing, but the problem is they're missing a great battle going on. Their man is less than a second behind Senna, who is in the lead. There's 97 and 74 car circulating as if they're joined front and rear. I got a feeling that's them there.
That is them, yeah.
Yeah, that's them there. So unless we found them again. That's great.
Yeah, Ferrari's dropped back a fair bit actually.
Yeah, he's actually gained a bit. He's at less than 4 seconds now. He was just over 4. You look at their sector times, it's incredible. So close.
So we're on board again with Wielander in the 51 Ferrari.
Yeah, you can only just see in the distance.
Exactly. They've maybe it was through traffic or whatever, but they have taken a bit of a gap from him.
Yeah, 0.788. 1:30 coming up to 1:30 in the morning, and that's all that splits them. There's actually probably less of a gap between them now, 10.5 hours after the start, than there was on the grid when they were parked up and coming through the final corner and heading off onto the start line when Fernando Alonso waved the flag. Sarrazin sat waiting.
So yes, Wirtz is in full service, change of driver.
Yeah. So the engineers either decided that he didn't get the response he wanted off Alex, or Alex has since been back on the radio making his feelings known that he did not want to continue for another stint. He's got at least another lap to go here.
The problem is they're in a situation where they've only got it to lose now. They've got a little bit of a buffer. There's no point to take massive risks when, you know, you could change the tires and be safe. And bearing in mind, every team has got a tyre engineer working with them. So you discuss with the tyre engineer, you look at the tyres that have come off the car already, you have an informed decision, really, of what happens.
Yeah, it's not a stab in the dark, is it? There's huge technical analysis goes into this.
And bearing in mind, we have also seen already, we've got the Rebellion get pushed back into the pits. That's the 12th car of Heidfeld. But we've seen drivers getting ready. You know, I've done it myself. You get ready to go, and then last minute they decide, "Are you all right, Alex? Can you continue?" And they continue. So it could be happening again, or it could be that Sarrazin will get in this time, and that they're on schedule.
We're about to find out. Okay, he is boxing, which we knew that much. 2 minutes 17. They didn't commit, did they? Now remember when we heard Benoit on the radio earlier, he was told, we're going to check your tyres. If they're good, you're going back out again. No communication like that, so I suspect the decision has been made whether he's getting in or getting out.
I mean, it'll be a separate radio transmission that's that we haven't heard. I think that's told him whether he's getting out or not.
The number 2 car's in. Lotterer has just come through and into the pits. Berta's last lap, a quick lap of 3:28.445. Good first, no, not such a good first sector, but a good second sector on his in lap.
This is Andre Lotterer.
They go through some drink bottles, don't they?
I think they just replace it regardless
of whether it's full or empty. So that's just been a window clean and fuel.
Yeah, nice and simple. Got the 14 Porsche coming in now with Yanni behind the wheel. His last time round he did a 3:26, and we've got the leader coming in as well, Wirtz. So Yanni's lap times are up there with the best of the others now. Maybe the car's coming back to them.
Yeah, getting a little bit cooler maybe and things like that, but it'd be interesting to see, but nice to see that pit lane camera in the pit box of the Toyota, where with the number 14 Porsche. I'd like to see the number 7 Toyota if we could, to see whether, I think Wirtz is getting out. We'd just like kind of confirmation of that, really. Number 14 Porsche out and away. Toyota are right at the entry to the pit lane, so that camera won't pick them up where they're at.
Snack time in the Aston pit.
Where's the 7 car? The 7 car, he's already out. Wirtz is the car. I was thinking the car have changed because the 7 car wasn't in that box when he arrived, and he's just looking at the computer screen. He's on an outlap already, so
cameraman must have missed him altogether, but yes, he's been in and out. Wirtz did stay in the car, so it was just precaution that Sarrazin was ready just in case. Wirtz obviously was happy enough to stay in, do another stint on the tyre, and he will do one more and then get out the car and give Sarrazin. So Sarrazin's got whatever, a 40-50 minute wait now until he gets in the car.
That must be quite, I don't know, how much do you sleep? My question I was going to say there is, that must be quite frustrating, because you gear yourself up, because you haven't just stepped into your overalls and your crash helmet. That's taken 20 minutes, half an hour to get yourself psyched back up. And then you've now got another 45-minute wait. That's valuable hour and 15 minutes of sleeping, or do you not bother sleeping?
Everyone's different, you know. I do. If I can, I will. And I think most of these guys do as well. Just a quick, 30 minutes, hour, whatever, in a nice relaxed position. It all depends on what you're planning on doing with all the drivers, and whether you're planning on sending them off for 3 hours each, so you've got 6 hours that you could get some rest, and at that point you probably do sleep. But at least kind of 1 hour before you're due to get back in the car, you want to be back in your race suit near the pits, ready to go just in case, because you never know what's going to happen with a driver, whether all of a sudden he might not feel well, or be extra tired or whatever, and you've got to be there to step in. Because there's nothing worse than the car being in the pits, the driver getting out, and then the next driver's not there. Because I've been in that position, and it's really not very funny.
No, but it's not funny. Okay, the battle that we were concentrating on and we're quite desperate to see again is the Pro GT category. It is Senna who still leads from Milano, 0.848.
Yeah, those two just going round together.
Yeah. The Ferrari of Vilander is starting to drop down. It's 6 seconds, just over 6 seconds behind.
Well, remember, Vilander was the first into the pits.
So 3 or 4 laps, all the tyres.
Not that should really make that much of a difference, because as we've talked about, they're looking to do triple stint on these tyres anyway. So unless Vilander's on the line, no, he just got in the car. So yeah, it's a little bit odd that he's dropped down.
Looks a little bit.
Looking at the
big detail,
the Audi pit box, that's the engineer from car number 2.
It looks quite an in-depth conversation. If she was about to press the button and talk to the driver, it would be nice to hear what that's going to say.
Here we go. So yeah, I think his engineer was just asking him how the car is, and maybe a bit worried about those vibrations that were happening to Marcel earlier on. He's just saying that he needs to try and stay off the curbs, try and be a bit more gentle with the car. Doesn't look like staying off them that much to me, but maybe some of the rougher curbs. Those ones are pretty flat down there, so I think they're okay to take. It's the ones that here at the Ford chicane
coming
now.
towards us, yeah, they're really bad. Wow. The gap between Senna and Milner is over a second. Only just, but it's over a second. It's kind of like, it's like a lifetime in that battle they've had for the last 45, 50 minutes. It's 1.094. So number 8 Toyota going through there. These boys are in the final sector, so we might get a look at them shortly.
Yeah, there's Bruno in front of us.
Yeah.
So yeah, they've got a little bit of traffic
Yeah,
now.
here's the Ferrari with the green luminous strip up the side, so he is dropping.
Yeah. That's what we're seeing now. We're seeing the battle, the first place battle. There's Bruno in the 97 Aston. And you'll see 2 cars behind is a Corvette with a P2 car in between them. Some traffic coming up, so Bruno's got to try and get through there cleanly and not get swamped by them, and therefore let the Corvette catch him up. As I was saying before, it's sometimes difficult because you've got cars in the middle of their own battle and they're not keen on letting you by. And these 2 slower cars, obviously he's catching them, and he won't be over keen to let him by. Plus you've got the added problem of it being dark, and you don't necessarily know what's coming from behind. You might see the blue flag, which is what you can see flashing from that onboard there. But you don't know whether it's for the P1 car coming or whether it's for the GT cars coming. So it's a difficult situation. Is this Patrick Dempsey getting ready to get back in his car? So Pat Long will get out. They are down 1, 2. So 4th place at the moment. Sorry, no, 6th place at the moment in GTE-Am. So they'll probably drop down. You got the Tracy Crone out in the Ferrari just behind them. So there's a good battle in GTE-Am as well. Lots of cars still in it. In fact, it's the biggest field, it seems.
And Sebastian Buemi has replaced Lapierre in the number 8 Toyota.
So we've got a total of 11 cars out of the race now. In fact, the latest, well, one I've just noticed was a very strong car, was the Olivier Pla P2 Morgan 26 car is out. I'm not sure what's happened to them. But they would have been one of the favourites for the race win. So still on board with a 51 Ferrari of Wielander. Kind of lost touch a bit now with the 2 guys ahead of him, Milner and Senna.
Still got that big downshift, and
So 7 seconds down on Senna now. Still not that much, but
No.
Aston just in front of us now. So there's been a report of a car, obviously, that's travelling slow, and she's just warning just in case.
My word. I say, can't see a slow car coming towards us, but
No, it's
see lots of fast ones.
That's back on the Mulsanne straight.
'77 in. The Dempsey car is in.
So Pat Long's coming in, and Dempsey's going to get in the car now.
The Chevy's back up now. He's just been helped slightly, I think, in that gaggle of traffic there coming through the final chicane. He's right back up with him. Less than 0.4 of a second now, starting that lap. I haven't got any notifications of the slow car, so hopefully there isn't a slow car.
It's interesting. Again, this team chooses to use a driver helper rather than the driver getting out, helping the new driver getting in. Personally, I prefer it that way because it's, you know, if you're tired and you're getting out after a 3-hour stint or a 3.5 hour
Last thing
stint.
you really want to be doing, making sure you've belted someone in properly.
Exactly. So get ready to fire the car up. The wheel's just getting changed now. As soon as it drops, fire it and let's go. Good getaway, no wheel spins that time, so all good.
Still think that was a harsh penalty. But they're the rules. I'm keeping an eye, because we're not getting the picture. I'm just keeping an eye on the Pro GT battle to make sure that they don't change positions. I'm not sure if that switches mid-lap or at the end of the lap, so I'm just keeping an eye on that, because it was close.
It seems to be, in fact, I remember this from my time in P1, that it's not so much you lose speed during the night, it's the slower cars, the Am drivers, who lose the speed. And you're coming with real bright lights behind them, and they don't know, they're a bit dazzled, and they hold you up more than they would normally do in the daytime.
Yeah.
So that's why the times are varying so much, and why Wirtz was complaining about traffic. Because it's not like they've stuck an extra 20 cars on the road now. It's just the fact that the slower cars are more of a handful to get by. So when you do get a clear lap, they're back down to proper quick lap times, but it's harder to get that clear lap.
It looks like Lotter has just suffered exactly what you're saying there.
Yeah,
He's just
3:36.
3:36, which against what he's been running around at 3:27, 3:28, is not what he was needing. Right, look at these guys here. Look at them. A 37.8 for Senna, a 38.1 for Milner, a 90.2 and a 90.4, respectively, for those guys. And it gives us a total at the moment of 0.900 with the final sector. So they're heading towards us in a few seconds or so. Just some slow-mos there, them going over. That's the final chicane, wasn't it?
Yeah, just showing how each car takes in the bumps.
Toyota does seem to...
it does ride the bumps very nicely.
It seems to be able to kiss the bumps a bit more as well. Oh, the 91 car's out. It's back out of the box. Ah, it's a replay. But that seems to be coming out, sorry. But, it seems to be being pushed outwards, not inwards.
The 91 car is currently in the box with Bergmeister behind the wheel.
Not good, not good. Okay, now that seems to have been a bit of a bigger gap. Pro GT car's just gone through and seemed to be a bit of a gap. And this is our 51 Ferrari in the pits. But yeah, look, Milner dropped he's basically dropped 2 seconds in the last sector. Some traffic, I suspect.
It's a scheduled stop for Vilander. I think he was the first of the 3 front runners to pit.
Measuring the brake discs, see what the wear is.
The pads, yeah, pads and disc. I mean, it's quite likely that at some stage in the night they're going to have to change. They're going to have to wheel the car back into the pits and change brakes on the car, because it's quite likely the brakes aren't going to go the full distance in the race.
Aston Martin team, I think they're probably going to be in about 3 or 4 laps. They'll need waking up, because I think the Ferrari stopped 3 or 4 laps before them, didn't they? And these two, Senna and Milner, they came in on the same lap, but this time, I think when they went out, they haven't been any more than about 3 seconds apart, though. Well, that is not correct, because Milner did drop out the back, remember, slightly early on in that fight, but only by about 4 seconds. But that's all that's been between them since they came out of the pits.
Yeah, so I think they've got another couple of laps before they pit.
Yeah.
So on board with the leader now, Wirtz in the Toyota, number 7 car. Last time around, 320 car. Someone going quick. So it's either...
Team radio, car 7. Has that answered your question?
That has answered my question, yeah.
You were right, though. He was going quickly.
So let's see where he's getting the blue flag, or the blue light. So let's see how kind he's feeling, and whether he's going to... Well, sooner or later, he does have to let him by. As simple as that, the rules state. So unless he pulls away... Obviously now he's got a bit of a gap, so he's not just going to stop and let him go by. So the Toyota needs to close up on him. What's their lap times respective? So that's Yanni in the car. He's doing 328s, as is Wirtz. So again, another tricky one. He's not really any slower. And if he can just use a bit of traffic and get a gap, then he won't need to let him by.
It's interesting, the engineer saying there that they spoke to race control. You would just think they'd just wander down to the Audi pit and say, sorry, not the Audi pit, the Porsche pit, and say, come on, let him past.
Nah, it doesn't really work like that.
They get race control involved.
Yeah, they need the third party to come and take control, and yeah. But he's too far away now. He's too far away in the lead to have to pull over. So as long as he keeps a bit of a distance like that, then there's nothing they can do. And then he's not doing any harm there either. I think they're lapping very similarly. Let's see when traffic, if they clear the traffic and get a relatively clear lap, it could be that Wirtz is slightly quicker. On that last lap, Wirtz lost a second to Yanni. So that's just passing one of the Corvettes anyway. It's probably Garcia, isn't it? No, it's not. It must be Milner. Yeah. So there's the Aston just in front. So it's just passing the GTE-Pro Aston of Senna, leading the class.
That's given the Porsche a little bit of breathing space to argue against the potential blue flags. In a small way, though, now that there's this small gap, isn't the Toyota maybe in a slightly better place, because they're getting out of the way for the Porsche, and he's now not having to clear the traffic. He's not the first on the scene as such.
Maybe makes him more aware, but to be honest with you, all the GT drivers see are massive bright lights behind them.
Big white lights.
So I don't think there's that much of a benefit. Yeah, I mean, there's obvious situation where they could think, well, this could potentially be the leader coming through, and therefore there might be a second or third place coming behind as well. But nah, I don't think it's not a case of him clearing the traffic.
Okay, in the pits is Sebastian Buemi and Alex.
So Alex a little bit nervous of putting his car down the inside. You saw Toyota, what was it, 3 years ago with, or 2 years ago with Anthony Davidson.
Yes.
Having a big shunt at that very place. So being a little bit cautious, doesn't need to take massive risks because he's got a good lead over Lotter at the moment. Number 8 going back in the pits of Buemi. He's just spent all that time catching up, and now they've got to go back in the pits again.
Alex Brundle is the leader in the P2 category in the pits. And that car of the Rebellion of Prost dropping down positions, actually Brundle ahead of it now. So a P2 car ahead of a P1 car.
Yeah, so we've got the 73 Garcia car from 5th place, just at a pit stop.
The Senna-Milner battle for the Pro category is now 1.7. That's that traffic because they had the Porsche and the Toyota going around them. Sebastian Buemi staying in the car. Mechanic telling the cameraman he doesn't want it. This car's coming back out already, I think, so I'm not really sure. Hang on. Okay, I'm not really sure why they pushed him back into the box for that one, but just trying to see if there's any news. Nope, no news on there yet.
So Alex confirming to the team that no big issues, a little bit of vibration here and there. Again, potentially just tyre pickup, rubber pickup on the tyres. He feels happy enough with the car and carrying on.
I'm going to say the gap he has is virtually the same after that stint as what it was when he went in. Car 27 reported to the stewards for speeding in the pit lane. So car 27, which is our Russian friends in the Mika Salo car. Not sure who's driving car 27 at the moment.
Mika Salo.
Oh dear.
Not had a good day yet today. Actually, we're into tomorrow now, aren't we? But he had an off in the warm-up before the race, and now he's got caught for speeding, so expect a stop and go penalty with a few extra seconds added for that one. So it was a third place, 46, so well, it's dropping down the order a little bit now. So it's one of the P2 cars that was in contention for victory.
Have I missed someone? Yeah, Milner's been in the pits and he's on an outlap. I was thinking, hang about, that's a minute gap, so we're waiting for the Senna car now into the pits.
So the last of the 3 front runners to pit. Exactly, that's what happened last time. Remember, the other two were already on track, and Senna came out in front of them and had to warm his tyres up. So, yeah, that's how it plays out.
I don't know why whenever there's a pits to car radio, I insist on looking at the screen, even though I can't see anything. You don't see any, you just hear it, and that's obviously where I missed the 74 car coming in. But scenery's nice. So I don't think Senna's going to be far away, is he? Well, they're ready, you know.
Yeah, he's heading in pretty soon. Christian Poulsen's still leading in the Aston and Pro-Am.
What is interesting, this gap is now down to 6 seconds between the Chevy and the Ferrari. See, Villander has, in the pit stop, caught a second or so up, a couple of seconds up. So stretches that.
So I'm thinking that Christian Poulsen's going to be getting out of the car soon.
I thought that was...
I have to be honest, I don't know what the other driver it looks like. He's going David Heinemeier Hansen.
Vibration on the brakes is massive. Can you do something? Here, this is the Senna car in. He's in, he's happy. Drinks bottle in, headlights clean. Fuel. I mean, what can they do? What can they do? What can they do about a vaporizer apart from replace the discs and pads?
On the brakes, exactly, that's what they can do. They can get the car in. I mean, that's the number 8 car, so it's not the end of the world. Obviously, they don't want that happening to the number 7 car, and it's they've been asking quite a bit to Alex, and a lot of reports going back and forward about that. So they are concerned about it with the number 7 car as well.
Okay, right. We are looking for... This is the Senna Aston. Now, he's either made a big gap, because there's no headlights behind him. Here they come.
Yeah. So I think he's...
I think he's gained. If that is a yellow... Yeah, it is. And he's probably took another second and a half or something there, maybe. Second and a half, we'll see when we start to get some sector times up. Once he's completed the lap as well, 4 minutes time, we'll be able to work out. So 170 laps completed for Toyota number 7. And the car, Audi number 2, 2 minutes 27.692 behind. And then the car number 1 of Tom Christensen is 1 lap down. Car 20 Porsche is 2 laps down. The 14 Porsche, 6 laps down. That was from early on in the race with fuel pressure problems. And then the number 8 Toyota is in 6th. The leading P2 car is lying in 7th place with Alex Brundle at the wheel at the moment. And as we've just been talking, the leader in the GT-Pro category is Bruno Senna, the 97 car, but only by about 3 seconds. Well, the last split is 5.1 seconds now. So that's a pretty healthy advantage for what they've had in the last hour and a half, 2 hours. The leader in the Am category for GT is another Aston Martin, the 95 car, and Poulsen is driving that car at the moment.
Setting good times as well. He's doing last time round 4:02, and the next car up, the Ferrari of Basov, 4:09. So he's pulling a big gap actually. And we saw, I think we saw David Heinemeier Hansen, the next Danish driver to be going into that car in the pits with his balaclava on. So I think the next stop, Poulsen will be handing over to him.
Did you say the retirements there? The Audi, guys, so it seems a long time ago when the Audi retired, an hour or so in, hour and a half into the race. Some hospitality in the back of the paddock, the Audi team beautiful hospitality units and to entertain their guests. The number 2 car, Lotterer. Big performance by him earlier on. To be fair, big performance by all of them, but he was particularly brave in the early sections of the race. Some big moves taking place there. Okay, the gap between Senna and Milner, 5.5 seconds. So Senna's had a good stop there. And the Aston Martin team getting him changed around quickly, in and out.
This is just showing us that on the last lap, Lotterer took 3 seconds off Wirtz, which is a decent chunk of time, but Wirtz is still a long way ahead.
Yeah, he's got to be taking that kind of time for about the next team radio.
It sounds like Andre's getting a little bit frustrated with the traffic there. Yeah, you know, that's the thing. You're pumped up, you're pushing hard behind the wheel, and if you feel that the drivers are not getting out of your way well enough, and as I was saying before, they are frustrated because the Am drivers are a little bit taxed, let's say. In this dark condition, you've got, you can see the lights of the Audi. See how bright they are, and they're coming in your mirrors. And if you've got a rear camera, it's coming just a white light in your rear camera, and it's difficult getting out of their way. You don't know where they are, and it's frustrating when you're driving the P1 car because you just want them to move out of the way because you're trying to catch up to the lead of the race, and it's frustrating, and therefore sometimes you get a little bit angry, let's say. And so I think that's what Andre was. Maybe we didn't hear that radio transmission because it was a bit X-rated.
Yeah, it was interesting that she came on and said, "Can you repeat?" Oh, it doesn't matter. He didn't pick up on the whole thing as well. So
we're in the Audi pit now. Sorry, in the Audi hospitality, seeing their guests.
Yeah, you can see in the last lap time, just under 1 second slower was Lotterer to Wirtz. Not anger in mechanics getting themselves geared up. Got some pit work to do. Great speed down here on the brakes. Right, then, yeah, the cars are named, yes. The cars are named. Now, I did write that down somewhere of what was which name. Can't remember where it was now, but I've written that down. I'll be able to find it out somewhere for you. Let me see if I've got that written.
So Timo's going to stay in the car. He's going to come and get some fuel and go straight back out. Probably no tires, just fuel.
Okay, car 1 is Albert. This is the Audis. Oh my word. Wonder Woman, Superman, dear me. Yeah, the Audis have named car 1 as Albert, car 2 as Betty Boost, and car 3 that is no longer is called Steffi, or was called Steffi. So yeah, 3 names of their cars. So we'll see. But these, we talk about these hybrid systems, and we can hear them as they are on the brakes and off, they're like kind of coasting and then braking. Toyota have KERS, their energy recovery system from braking, which they then use under acceleration. So that's what the big noise is, isn't it? That kind of whirring noise when they come down. Toyota have a double KERS system, one at the front and one at the rear. So it's new for this season, basically producing the equivalent of 1,000 brake horsepower. Porsche is fed with an electric motor, retrieving exhaust gases which are blown into the turbo. Car 27, that's the Mika Salo car again, I think. Car 27. And then Audi they've gone for their 2013 version, the tried and tested one, with a single energy recovery system, using the traditional KERS to save weight to compensate for the heavier diesel engine. 3 manufacturers, 3 different types of hybrid systems. So a little bit of useless bit of information. So we'll see. Okay. I'm sure that was the Mika Salo car. Car 27. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was, yeah, running late again.
Again. Right, let's go back to this battle. The battle at the front of the Pro category. Senna Miller is 5.1 seconds. That's kind of stabilized now at that 5 seconds.
So the 4th place car of Marco Holzer now coming into the pits. Full service.
Oh yeah, driver change, yeah.
Looks like I think that's Richard Leeds getting in.
The bonnets of those cars are obviously relatively strong for that mechanic to kind of stand on and brace himself to clean the window.
That's it. So yeah, Leeds going in, being in. He'll go in now for a triple stint on those tyres.
As you say, when the conditions were slightly tricky and damp, the Porsches were right up there, weren't they? They were right in the fight.
He needs to get ready to get that car started. You can hear the tyres going on it.
Yeah, he's still not quite in, is he?
Come on, hurry up, hurry up. So he's got the start button on his steering wheel, so he doesn't need to reach forward.
Yeah, I didn't know what he was trying to. He did have his hand down by the side. Not sure what he was.
I think he's just tightening up his lap belt.
Yeah.
But a lot of these cars have a system where there's a button on the steering wheel, and you press it while it's in the air, and it doesn't fire. And as soon as the car hits the deck, it fires automatically, and then you're off. Yeah.
Okay. Gently through the Dunlop curves as he makes his way up. Okay, that battle at the front, GT-Pro classification, yeah, just over 5 seconds. So that is kind of a bit static and sorted now. Tom Christensen on a outlap. The gap at the front, 2 minutes 25.043. And 0.6 of a second between their laps of Wirtz and Lotterer in Wirtz's favour on the last run. This car 58 comes past us and into the pits. The second car in P2, car 36, Shatin, 2 quicker sector times, sector 1 and sector 2. So it's actually, at the right at this moment, there's 3 cars, 3 sector times going blue. That'll be conditions, I believe, is it getting cooler and just helping the cars, the tyres, track getting a bit cooler.
Yeah, and if you can get yourself a clear lap, that's now's the time to be, well, as I said, it's just going to get quicker and quicker as the race goes on, and if the more cars that go out, the more space there's going to be in the circuit, so it's as simple as that.
Yeah, listening to the last communication from Lotterer, you could do with a few more disappearing because he's getting a bit fed up with them all.
Well, there's a lot of work to do for Audi now, because they're lapping within a second of each other pretty much every lap, and therefore he's not drawing in this 2 minutes down that he is, so it's tough work for them.
Yeah, but you've got to be there. I mean, it's a puncture, it's a half spin, a stall,
a touch with another car.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
you've got to keep going at it, because if you can keep it within 2 minutes, we see at pit stops, it's a minute and a half for a full service, and you've got to keep going. And maybe Andre just getting slightly frustrated. The 98 car just coming into the pits now. That is the Lamy. Was that the Lamy car? I've put my paperwork back in a different place now. It is the Lamy car back in the pits. So. I think that's done a good stint there, so that car's obviously been fixed and sorted there. Here it is. Hopefully there'll be no smoke this time.
It was in the pits a fair while though, so it's well down the order now.
Yeah, it was 20-odd minutes.
Actually, there is a bit of smoke off the front still, look.
I was hoping that was the spray from the headlight cleaner and the windscreen cleaner, but I think you might be right. Maybe not, I don't know.
Nice to see the 79 WeatherTech Porsche that's with Cooper McNeil at the wheel. Him and Jeroen Bleekemolen are doing the race on their own. The third driver is not able to compete, so they're just circulating themselves, aiming to finish the race. And just the two drivers, which is a big job. It's tough to do that.
Well, two punctures that we've seen so far as well, haven't we, for them? So
exactly. Yeah.
As well as the extra pressure on yourselves.
And the car's been
fully rebuilt.
It's been rebuilt because they had a big shunt, and they're carrying extra. So
okay, the door. When they open the door, they have like the damper, and I think that's what they're saying is broken, isn't it?
Yeah, so swinging around.
Yeah. I don't think the door is shut and that's secure. It's the little pivot that holds it, kind of holds it up when it's open.
Yeah. So it's probably just annoying him, swinging around in front of him.
But when he says we need to take it out, is he going to try and pull it out and throw it into the other side, or is he just going to wait for them to come into the pits?
I think during the pit stop.
Yeah. But he can, it's obviously bizarre, tough question. Yeah, we're looking out at the front of that car with the big headlights. So inside that car is very, very dark. It's obviously tapping and rattling on something for him to notice that it's come away. And you were talking about drivers and the extra capacity in their mind and their brain. This guy's doing 300+ kilometers an hour, and there's something rattling on my door just up here, and he's having a chat about it.
It's annoying.
Yeah.
You know, it's just one other thing you don't need to be thinking about.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a bit of a...
Yeah, I think that was Andre saying, come on, mate, you didn't need to be there. Get out of the way.
A bit of a wobble. Now, there's some Audi people getting ready. Are they going to bring this car in? I'm not sure. He hasn't had the call, has he, yet?
Not that we've heard, anyway. Certainly ready for someone, so It's either him or Christensen.
They're outside. Well, Christensen was only in a couple of laps ago, so... so I suspect that it's going to be him. I'm going to be curious to see what they do with the door. Yep, someone down pit road. I think it's him. Big bright lights. Yep, here he comes. Heavy on the brakes.
Which is why they had the conversation then. So they knew they were coming into the pits and to deal with that problem with the car now. So he'll no doubt be staying in, I think. So yeah, definitely staying in, and he just wants that tidied up and taken away, so they'll open the door and they'll, hopefully we can have a good view of what they're going to do with it. Well, I think that was it dealt with.
Well, I'm going to say, whatever he did, it was quick. That was quite quick.
No, he's gone back. He's going back.
Some adjustment on the front. And whatever he did second time was quick as well.
So, not too much harm done. Slightly lost a few seconds, no doubt, but... I think they've just tuned the car a little bit more. I think we heard earlier on Ben saying that he was suffering with understeer, didn't he? So
yep. This is our lead car driver change, and the lead car verts out. Now Stefan, we know, has been stood there for about 45 minutes, hasn't he?
Well, he was going to go in last time, wasn't he? And first decided, yep, I can do one more stint, and they kept him out there on the same tire. So they will give it a full service now. Some fuel and another set of tyres.
Now, the only issue that they're going to have with that Lotterer car now is you see how that door stays up on the Toyota. I suspect the mechanic's going to have to hold that up now with that damper thing broken. It's not a big issue, but just a little bit more awkward to get in, I suspect. So that'll just be the problem that they have when they come in.
I saw the Toyota mechanic give it a thump from the other side to make sure the door was closed there.
It starts up in electric, silent car initially, and on their way out. So we now have a different driver in the lead car, Stefan Sarazan. They've all been strong. They have all been strong. Remember, Sarazan was out in those slightly tricky conditions and putting those brilliant lap times when he was in the car the last time. Keep you up to date with the GT-Pro category. That is still at a gap of 5.1 seconds in Senna's favour.
So looking at Neil Yanni, who we were riding on board with.
He's about to change driver, I think, as well. He's going to come in.
He is, and every time I look at his lap times, he seems to be on a good one. So Brundle's just set the fastest lap in his 35 car and P2 lead as well, so lap time is starting to come down. So a 3:38 from Alex Brundle.
Christensen a 3:32. I think there's quite a bit of traffic around, isn't there, at the moment, for these guys. In that section of corners there, the Porsche curve, what is the G-force feeling? Because when you're watching these guys, it just looks like it's on rails.
Yeah, it's a great section. It's one of the best sections on the track. It's one you don't want to get wrong because the wall's not far away, but when the car's hooked up, it feels fantastic through there. So we see the 14 car now into the pits. Neil Yanni coming in, just completed his triple stint, I think, and Mark Lieb will be getting into this car.
Well, he was stood ready, whether he gets in, as we've seen with a couple of times.
True, yeah. No, he's definitely getting in. See, that's interesting that Neil Yanni, who's a little bit shorter, he's got an insert for the seat, and then Mark Lieb just goes straight in. Yeah. He's just happy to sit in the base seat.
It was a bit like Webber when Hartley got out. Hartley took his seat with him, and then when I saw both of them walking around in the paddock earlier on, and I mean, there's nothing to Brenda. I mean, he's tall, but absolutely, there's not a lot to Mark Webber. Maybe a bit more stockier. Yeah. But that maybe is the difference of why Hartley needed the seat, or needs a seat, just because he's so thin.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, tall drivers obviously need to stay thin, because the lighter you are, the faster you are. The weight is a big factor in a race car. So looking at Mark Lieb now. First year in prototypes for him. He's been driving GT Porsches for a long, long time, and he's got the big break now to...
Whatever the mechanic's trying to do, he's not...
Yes, it's not happening very quickly.
No, it wasn't, no.
You see the head support there.
Yeah.
So you've got the extra padding on there. So you actually can't move your head very much from side to side.
I noticed the Toyota has a similar look. We can't remember what the Audi has. The only pictures we really had of the Audi was when they crashed early on, so in the 3 car. It's back out on the road. Let's see what he can do. Okay, the gap in the Pro category, Senna to Milner, is down to 4.3. So is that Chevy starting to kind of come back on song and head towards that leading gap? But it's still only 8.3 seconds between the first 3 in that category.
We should definitely keep an eye on that, because it has gone down slightly.
Yeah, I mean, the gaps in the other categories, the Am category, that's a big gap. That's not far off a lap. The same with the P2 category and the P1 category. So right at this moment, the big battle is, as it has been virtually all race, is in the Pro GTE category.
Wherever Alex Brundle is on track right now, the 35 leader in P2, he's found some clear air. He's going to set his his fastest sector in the first sector. And he just had his 1 lap ago, he had his fastest lap outright, so he's on it. You know, he's pushing hard.
He's in the zone, isn't he? Well, he's just gone through the sector 2, 85.3 seconds for sector 2 in that final section. Final section quite a bit longer than the other sections. What are the issues that the Porsches had? A team radio, Porsche. Okay, 14 laps per stint, and they're planning 4 stints in the 14 car.
Yeah, big drive.
That is a big drive, isn't it? But what I was going to say just before then is no mistakes recently for any of the Porsches under braking, which you saw there was 2 or 3 of them earlier on in the evening. Whoa, what's going on here? The Ferrari. Ah, right. So the Milner must have made a mistake, because he's dropped 5 seconds. And the Ferrari of Villander right up behind him, flashing the lights. Come on, get out of the way. I'm here again.
Trying to put him off, really. Yeah.
The battle, the Senna. Bruno won't know what to do with an 8.5 second advantage.
Well, yeah, he's not had one the whole race, so now the battle is between these 2 guys.
Tony's got to make this really work, hasn't he? Because he dropped down the back a little bit. He dropped out of this fight. He's been given a chance. Not what he needed was a faster car getting in the middle of them, though. Porsche, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is.
Well, they've just gone past.
Yeah, but he's already dropped back a bit again. Philander. I'm not sure that Ferrari's quite got the pace of the Corvette, even though perhaps, yes, Milner might have made a mistake and dropped back, but now he's got his head together again. It looks like he's just eking out the gap again.
0.8 of a second between them. Senna's advantage now 9.7. He's not far off double figures. I don't think the Aston Martin team have had to put double figures up on their pit board yet. This race, they're going to get a bit of a shock. We're going to get another number out soon.
Well, Aston Martin are one of the very few teams that don't run a pit board. They don't run any pit board at all. So any information is told to the driver over the radio. They don't hold a pit board out.
Okay, that's interesting. What is the reason for that? Just it's difficult to see.
They just don't find it necessary. They don't, you know, radios nowadays are pretty reliable. They also know that the driver doesn't really pay that much attention to a pit board.
What are you trying to say?
Well, yeah, I don't really look for it. So, yeah, I'd rather hear over the radio. So gradually, each team is kind of moving away from pit boards. I mean, obviously, in an emergency, when your radio goes down, you have to have one handy, but generally, the radio is quite reliable.
He's good on the brakes, isn't he? He might rev that engine to its capacity. He's good on the brakes.
Yeah, the blue flag, yeah, the blue light flashing there. I'm not sure why that's flashing. It shouldn't really be flashing. You saw that was Milner just testing his brakes coming up to Mulsanne corner there. You saw a flash of his brake lights. So he, with a left foot, he'll just tap it, make sure it's hard. Because
I was going to say, is that to make sure it's hard, like a pad knockoff, or is that to kind of try and put the car behind off slightly?
No, it's to, you know, he ran the curbs on the way out of the last chicane, and when you do that, it quite often will give you pad knockoff. Therefore, you've got to just pump them back up so you've got a nice hard pedal for the next hard braking zone, which was that Mulsanne corner. See, really, Wielander's all over him now. And flashing. He's really trying to put him off. Trying to force him into a mistake. Bit of a slide there from Milner. Got some good grunt in that Chevy coming out the corners. He's able just to draw away slightly.
Just a little bit of news coming from the Porsche 14 car whilst we watch this. There's no fans working in the car, so there's no air, no fresh air coming into that cockpit of the 14 car.
That's going to make that quadruple stint of Mark Liebs
a bit uncomfortable, isn't it? So yeah, I think it's taking all of Tony's talent there to keep up with that Chevy, isn't he? And he's having to do it on the brakes. That's where he really starts to gain it. He's in the braking, massively pushing.
Again, you know, the Ferrari might have a little bit more extra aero, and therefore it might be slightly slower on the straight, but be able to brake later in the corners, and that could be the reason why he's able to close up on the brakes as the way he is. But it is strange that Milner has dropped his pace. I mean, he's still doing 357s. They both are doing 357s, which is a pretty good time. Bruno Senna in front of them has just done a 356 though. And then Richard Leeds behind in the other Porsche, 4th position. He's done the 356 as well. So it's these two cars just a second off.
What's the bet in the